For my contemporary issue, I chose to talk about gender inequality. And I picked this because I think it's a huge problem that doesn't get enough recognition. And it's it's really important that we talk about it and have a conversation about it because that's the only way there realistically is going to be a change. And that's the cool thing about art is, you can express it in a way without talking and put out emotions that you couldn't get through words. So, um, it's really important. Women have been treated unfairly throughout our history. They get paid less for the same amount of work. According to Business Insider, the American woman gets 80.7 cents for every $1 that male gets. Less than 10% of companies in our stock exchange that are put on our stock exchange have women CEOs. And then, look at Alabama last month. They ruled that abortion was legal. The list truly goes on and on. But another thing that I didn't really know about was how underrepresented women are in the art world. Going through the Art Institute, I found there to be very few female artists when I would read the descriptions. It was really shocking to me. I couldn't really believe it. And then when we talked to your friend when we went to the art studio, she said that it's really uncommon for women to run an art studio. And I don't know, I think it's so important to talk about because I think we would have a lot more quantity of art if women if women were represented better, and there'd be a lot better art too. And then I just feel like excluding women from art prevents them from performing other things because a lot of the time people create art or when they evaluate art they use critical thinking, and this critical thinking technique can be used in many other sorts of fields. So I feel like that it's a disadvantage because they don't have practice from this. So the first picture I want to talk about is this picture. It really, really struck my eye, and this one's from the Art Institute. And one thing I want to talk about is the look that she has on her face. It seems like she really doesn't care what people think of her, That's just the vibe I get. Her eyes are going to the side, almost like she's not looking at the camera, and you can't even see her left eye. And it just seems like she's not even acknowledging the photographer, and I think that's really cool how she looks like that. And I also like how the artist made it so the smoke is pretty much covering her face. Here, I'll give you a closer look. And I think that what that represents is really cool. Throughout time, I think women have been, used in art because they're so beautiful. The stat, that we had in class, 83% of nude images are females. So when you have the smoke covering her face, it gives me this idea that this picture isn't being taken of her because of her beauty, but it's being taken of her because of the person that she really is. And she seems like this, she has this look of this face of like someone with a dominant personality too, and I also think that helps reinforce the idea. And also, I think the black and white aspect also reinforces the idea that this picture isn't just taken for her beauty, you know, because if it was taken for her beauty, you'd want the color of her skin, the color of her eyes, the color of her nails. Also, this woman seems to be portrayed as rich and elegant, kind of. She has this beautiful hat on, you know. It has 3 red roses on it and 2 white roses. And then she's got the, you know, the pearl earrings on. She has her nails done. She has her lipstick on, eyebrows done, eyeliner on. And it seems like she would be in an event of some kind. So it would be weird for her to be, you know, smoking a cigarette like that. To me, it seems kind of odd. And I also think, I'm sorry, I'm going to go back to my point. I think it's odd because, you know, you're at this formal event and she's got this look on her face like she doesn't care, and then she's smoking this cigarette like she doesn't care. And I find it really interesting. And I also think it's interesting how the cigarette still has some ash on it. Like, this ash, you know, could potentially fall off the cigarette onto the dress, and she doesn't even seem like she's thinking about that. So I think this picture does a really good job of breaking down some of our stereotypes of women in art. It sets an example of, you know, how women should be looked at just as more as people, not just as, you know, beauties. So the next picture I want to talk about is actually 3 pictures. Sorry, I'm kind of covering it in my reflection, but here's a better look of it. So the way she's standing makes it seem like, to me, like she is bored or upset with something. And also, like, she has her head down, looking down, so maybe she's thinking about something. And I wonder what she could potentially be thinking about. And she's also smoking a cigarette. So she could be, you know, needing a buzz because she's thinking about something deep that's going on. And then she sees a man. And this man has a look of admiration on his face when he sees her. Maybe this woman is gorgeous. Maybe she's the truly perfect wife. And even she seems startled and excited to see him. Maybe she's been really lonely, you know, and maybe this artist is trying to portray the loneliness of being a household wife and trying to break gender barriers. And then the last picture is right here. And she has her head put on his head, her arms over him, and it almost seems like she needs him. So I think this piece does a really good job of gender roles. With the issue of gender discrimination in art, you know, this issue throughout time has gotten a lot better. And here's a piece of art I found online that I liked a lot, talking about gender discrimination. I like it a lot because they're so much higher than she is, and she doesn't even have the opportunity to get up there. The stairs don't even go up, so it's just like she doesn't even have the opportunity. So I think this picture does a really good job showing how women don't have the same chances that men do. Okay, thanks.